Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wisdom to Win podcast. I'm your host, Ray J. Johnson, and today I have with me a very dear friend, someone that I've known for quite some time, Frenchaire Gardner. Just say hello to the people that are listening and watching before we get started.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Hey, AJ.
Yay! So, listen, I have got to tell you a little bit about French Air and our background. So when I was in internet radio, French Air and I met in a town called Ferguson, Missouri. Now, Ferguson was on the map because of all the uprising that took place behind the killing of Mike Brown. And then that just led to so much going on in that area. And at the time, I, along with my radio host, Dallas Jameson, had started a show, and French Air came to one of our shows and has been in the community as an advocate ever since then. She has been modeling in the Dallas Fort Worth Fashion Week. She was picked out of, I think you said 600 people that had auditioned to be in that Fashion Week event. Frenchaire is an author, she is an artist, and it's just so much that I could go on and on and on about this wonderful lady. She was in the St. Louis area and now in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I introduce to some and present to others. Frenchaire Gardner. Hello.
Hey, boom, 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 boom.
Hello.
Hey.
I am so glad to have you here on Wisdom to Win. So listen. Wisdom to Win is a podcast for women of a certain age that find themselves kind of lost after maybe decades of marriage and now they've divorced. And they're trying to figure out where they should go, how they should transition, how do they live this next chapter of life? Because once you get to be 50 plus, it's difficult. It's not the same as when you were in your 20s, your 30s, or even your 40s when you're looking to reinvent yourself. And you have done so much in transforming and inventing yourself in a variety of ways: an author, a model, a community activist, a poet, um, working with children and children's books, and just transformation in general for all ages. So I want to start with this first question. Um, when did you know that this was your calling? Tell us a little bit about your story growing up.
Calling, that's a big word, Ray J.
That's a big word.
Um,
Should I
that's
say
a,
passion?
yeah, passion is better. But calling might be what it is. Um, so I just been through a lot of traumatic experiences as a whole, being molested by my father as a little girl, and just going through all kinds of domestic violence once I got married, and just through a lot of changes. But in 2011, I had moved to St. Louis because I fled to St. Louis to regroup, I guess. I was leaving my ex-husband. We just lost our four children to the state custody, and I was really just seeking a refuge for real, and and so I reinvented myself. So I'll say that this whole calling came to a source, our passions came a source in those development of years from 2011 to 2014. The first 2 years I moved to St. Louis, I didn't do anything. I didn't interact with anyone. It was just, me and the people I was living with, and just me, a lot of healing and inner search. I was missing my children, my mama. This was a foreign town, me from being from Dallas, Texas. And so the calling, I guess, came when my best friend from Southern Methodist University here in Dallas, Texas, she's also aka line sister. She in 2014 started a boutique publishing house, and she wrote three children's books. And she emailed me from Rome, Italy, to ask for me to be her director of public relations and marketing. on the strength of just me sharing her books like I do. I share things, especially black things, of things created by blacks. And so that really pushed me out into the world. And I guess that's where my calling started because uh people love the books, but really they love me. And so and I
That
had
part.
this, yeah. So I learned that there was a strength in me being able to network with people and connect people, and get an agenda done if I stayed focused. And so that's honestly where the passions actually started, I'd say.
Oh, wow. You have really unloaded a whole lot that I don't think any of us was ready for. First, let me say, I'm sorry that happened to you. You know, having a counseling background, sometimes people are not even apologized to when they go through
Yeah,
the trauma, whether it's a big trauma, a big T, or a little trauma, a little T. I want to say, I'm sorry that happened to you
I appreciate that.
because I think everyone needs to have that space where they feel like not only are they seen, but they're also heard. For you to flee from where you were in your situation, your circumstances, to have that trauma happen as a child and then continue as an adult with your now ex-husband, your husband, as I say, um,
I
your
like that.
your life opened up in ways that you weren't expecting, and to have this girlfriend roam. I mean, we usually don't within our community, let me just say, of typically African American, for those of you that are listening, just want to say that we
Right.
don't typically have those connections outside of the realm of the state sometimes that we live in. So to have a global reach like you did with your girlfriend that brought in a whole nother perspective for you, a whole new world, that was just phenomenal, and I want that to inspire others to know that it's possible. You don't necessarily have to have a global reach, just have a reach, be able to just at
Yes.
least reach out. So with that being said, let me ask you, who would you say your role models are? What was it that was in you by you seeing or hearing someone that pushed you to continue to go past that trauma you were experiencing?
Good question. I've always, and since we've graduated college, been in communication with my best friend from who lived in Rome, Italy, Dr. Tamara Pizzoli, affectionately known as my Tammy. That's my bestie. And then one and my first cousin on my father's side, Naja Shakur. We've always been in communication. That she's my other best friend. And
Okay.
so those two have always been in my ear to say, you have potential. I believe in you. You can do this. Holding space for me, just always encouraging ear, but always saying, you're settling. You're not doing your best work right now. You could be doing more. And,
Hmm.
so those were the people I say that, and my mama, she always she's not into the entrepreneur aspect of life, but she's always saying, I want you to be happy.
Hmm. I think our moms always want us to be happy. And since we're bringing up moms right now, you as a mom, I know that broke your heart to lose your children to the state. How old were they when that happened? And you got them back at what age?
Okay, so Joseph Jr., Frenchaire 2, Melchizedek, and Sarai were the oldest was Joseph. He was about 5 years old at that time, and and I want to say it was around 2012, 2014. I can't really recall, but in that area, I never got them back. I never got them back. They were in state for years, and then a black woman out of state adopted all four of them.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
So the kids stayed together
Yes,
at
this
least.
they kept them together. Yes.
And what was that environment like for them? Were you able to get in touch with them, or when did you learn about their adoption?
So I was always in communication with the foster parents.
Okay.
Mostly CPS allowed me to stay in communication. So I was while they were in care, I saw them like on Skype or there was a beautiful white couple that Chrissy and Chris, they I had fostered all four of them for a time, and they were the last foster parents before they were adopted. And so they reached out to me, the mother, she reached out to me to let me know they were going to be adopted. And she was really pressing for me to get custody of them back. The CPS caseworkers really wasn't feeling it at all, because I have bipolar depression. They were just really being very biased. And so in November, I want to quote the date as November 14th, 2014. That was the last day I saw my children before they got adopted, and was they flew to they're in South Carolina. And so I took my mama and my dad, and we got to visit with them. And I communicated with them that they were going to be taken care of by another family somewhere else, and that they've been adopted, and that we may not see each other or talk to each other for a while, but that's okay because we're one. And so we will always be, together. So that's how that went down.
So they ended up staying in that family permanently
Yes.
until they, decided to go on and do other things. So are you in communications with your children now? And how are you handling your depression and bipolar, um, I guess, diagnoses?
Okay, so good question. So, my oldest son, Joseph Jr., he always finds a way to find me. In April 2013, he found me. Maybe about 2.5 years ago, he found me on Instagram and gave me his phone number. And so we've been like texting and calling, for the last 2 years. He's at my
Okay.
oldest. He's at this current point, he's 19 years old.
Okay.
So he's been emancipated. He doesn't even live with them anymore. He's working and doing his own thing. The other kids, Joseph, would just, try to talk, let me talk to them. Their mom stopped allowing me to talk to them for a while. At some point we were talking, then she stopped all communications. At some point when I asked, like, could we like plan a future visit? But as of late, my praise report, Ray J, as of late, um, in May, Joseph graduated this past May from
Oh,
high school.
good. Oh,
Yes, yes,
congratulations. Yes.
yes, it's a blessing. And so he wanted me to be there. And so I said, well, you need to get me in contact with your mom so that I'm just not showing up, and this need to be, planned and
Mm-hmm.
arranged. And so that was done. And as of May, my mama and I reunited with my four children
Oh,
May Memorial Weekend this year, and we ended up actually driving from Dallas to South Carolina. And we got to see my children, and just a blessing, just a miracle, really a miracle. So and I want to give shout out to JoJo, my oldest son, because he's a catalyst for all of that.
oh, that I'm so happy to hear that. And I know those are listening rather and watching are happy for you and your family reunion. So that was
I want
definitely a
I'm
reunion.
s- It was, and Ray, I want to answer your second question. So you said ask me, how do I overcome and deal with
How
the
do you do
bipolar?
exactly? So
Yes.
now,
Yes. So, was deeply depressed when it was first taken. I was still married then, and our marriage wasn't great anyway, but that's beside the point. Um, I was just over it. I was done. I was mentally tapped out,
hmm
and I wasn't the me that you see today. I was just not good. But after leaving my ex-husband and coming to St. Louis, what I did was several things to get out of that depression, of losing my kids and things, and all the that trauma behind that. I I got a counselor, and found somebody that I could talk to and work things out with that. Then
hmm
also I journaled. I wrote down my thoughts and my just my feelings and things of that sort. Then I also started meditating. My counselor she recommended a free meditation app called Insight Timer, and I use that still currently. And so I just started with a minute, and but that stillness and meditation really makes a difference. Yoga. but everything was very intentional. This I knew I needed to heal. I know I needed to break free from all these hurts and
Mhm.
find what was on the other side. So just a combination of things, but I'll start with those are the main things that I started with.
Okay. Well, I like the fact that you named off some of those resources, who are not sponsors, but could be for
Not
Wisdom to
sponsors.
Win. Just wanted to say that. But since I did break in with that, let me take a moment to thank our sponsors. We want to thank My Daily Choice. And if you are looking for natural ways from everything that you need to do in your life to end pain, to live with more natural products in your life, I'll have that link below and you can check out My Daily Choice. To be on the right frequency, Frenchaire talked about meditation and being able to journal. Well, I've got a couple of things, and the Home Business Academy gives you something that you can use called Let's Go. Let's Go is one of my sponsors, and I love it. It's a digital version of you being able to track your day, including having a digital dream board, which we kind
Hmm.
of like to say achievement board. So if you're interested in that, that link will be below. Thank you so much, Home Business Academy, for sponsoring me and Frequence. Being on the right frequency and operating at a higher level is what French Air ended up doing. And so, if you want to know how to tap into that, to get rid of the brain fog, to get over some of the depression that you might be feeling, or the down feeling, we'll say, because there's various levels of depression. I'm not making
Hmm.
any medical claims here, but I have heard through testimony of users of the product Frequency that they are feeling better, lighter, more energized. They've gotten rid of the brain fog. And you already know if you're at a certain age, you might be perimenopausal or menopausal. I've heard that these products through Frequency, which is our rise, our vibe, which is our source to give you the minerals that you no longer get because, Earth has been deplenished of all of those good minerals that we need in our life, or to synchronize, to go to sleep and stay asleep and wake up refreshed. You can find out all that information in the links that I'll have below for you for Frequency. And finally, if you are needing to have some coaching, some counseling, like French Air talked about, let's connect. You can get on my Calendly and we can have a talk. I'll have that link below for you. I am the accountability coach, the life matchmaker, and Wisdom to Win coaching is what I do. So, French Air, I want to get back
Yes.
to you really quick and ask you this. You said something, I asked you a question. If this was a master class, what would you entitle this masterclass? And you said the art of becoming, creating, and transforming. Why did you pick that?
Great question. The art of becoming, the art of creating and transforming, is my whole like is the summation of my life. Like like what did it say? Mike Jones say, back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot, you all on me. That's me.
Say that again for the people in the back that didn't hear
Back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot, you all on me.
you.
Mike Jones.
That part, right?
Yes. So I say that to say, I'm all about being authentic and resilient. Like I've recreated myself over and over. I'm not afraid to make adjustments. I'm this is key point I want to make on air. My sister died in 2011. My only sister, 10 years older than me. She the one that taught me how to read, spell my name, tie my shoe, all that jazz. Rest in peace to my sister, Shawnette Michonne Anderson.
Rest in peace to her for indeed.
She was 42 years old, Ray J.
Mm,
I'm currently 44, so I've outlived her.
mm-hmm.
I was that was over 10 years ago in 2011. When she died and died suddenly, she had lupus, but she really kind of died of dehydration. But
Okay.
either way, her life taught me that there's no time. There's no time to play.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time to be all willy-nilly like I'm in my 20s. I'm not in my 20s. At that point, I was in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I it was so clear to me that I needed to get on track with what is my purpose? What is my passion?
Yes.
Don't wait, I can't waste no time. I need positivity. And I got on that road. That's when all this was like that was the impetus and catalyst of who I am today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so glad that you have been able to shine in so many ways and uplifting your sister right now. I'm honored to be able to honor her and what it was that she did for you, because what she did for you has just a ripple effect within the community because of everything that you do. Now, I want to give you the last word before I let everybody know. Well, I'll tell you now. You can find French Air. Let me tell you where you can find her so that you can really connect. She has a link app. We're going to have all of her links listed below for you in this episode. Those of you that are listening, come to our YouTube channel. Click the button like, subscribe, and give us some comments. Let us know what you think about this episode. Maybe some things that you would like to have known that we didn't get a chance to cover. And we could probably bring French Air back, okay, and
Yes.
get those things done for you. But you can find her on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and you're on Threads too. Is that correct?
I just got on Threads.
Just got on Threads. So she has a link tree, Spotify. This woman is every social media platform that you probably can think of, every podcasting platform, she is there. So the
Yes.
last and final thing that I want to give you the last word on, I want to ask you if you could please drop some wisdom nuggets for us in the, I guess, area of our audience that's listening and watching. What is it that you would tell them that they need to do to grow and transform into the life that they desire at this point?
Okay, I got you. Thank you again, Ray J, for having me on the Wisdom to Win podcast. I'm geeked to be here. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Um, this is where I'm going to start. Whatever it is that you think, that is what you're going to manifest and create out into this world. So that's where it starts in your head. Then, secondly, write things down. Writing things down, get things out of your head, and actually puts it in the real world, makes it real for the universe to actually move on the things that you're desiring. You actually can create the things that you desire. You just have to believe it. It's a mindset brain change. It's a change. It's a shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suggest tapping into Abraham. None of these are sponsored, but just people who I've tapped in
Yes.
over the years.
Yes.
Abraham Hicks
Yes.
on YouTube. There's Jen Sincero, and that's spelled sincere with the O at the end. Her book changed my life when I finally read it. In 2015, it's called "You Are a Badass: How to Stop Self-Doubting Yourself."
Oh, wow.
That book
Okay.
changed my life. Now it's a whole series. So tap into Jen Sincero. My favorite, I advise you to also create vision boards, physical ones and digital ones that you can look at on your phones. The vision boards will help you also with the writing and stuff, connect with you to actually actualize it and manifest the things that you desire into the world. I'm a living witness. It really works. Um, also, so much. Dance, have fun, live the life. Like
Yes.
really fucking party like it's 1999 because you don't know when you're gonna drop. We just don't know when we're
Yes.
gonna drop. So have some fun.
Look, I got a friend, Jenny C. Cohen, who does move to bloom, bloom to move. She's gonna totally agree with you on
Yes,
dance. Get up and
yes,
move.
yes.
Listen, everybody, I this has been so good. We definitely are gonna have you come back and dig a little bit deeper into some of the things that you did mention. But this has been so cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for being on here for my guest, Frenchaire Gardner. And listen. come back to this podcast, come back to this channel on YouTube so that you can gain a little wisdom to win. Until next time, everybody, take care.
Peace.